Good morning, good day. This is your girl, Dr. Tay, here with another morning message. So, my family and I have recently experienced a pretty significant loss. And one of the things that, really comes to mind for me during this time is just the importance of self-awareness, the importance of understanding our normal ways of processing things, our normal ways of thinking. So I've talked a lot about introspection in the past, right? And so self-awareness is something that comes a little bit easily for me because I do take that time to reflect. However, during times of grief, things change, people respond to things differently. And so because of my self-awareness, I have been able to recognize moments where I was maybe thinking some ego-based thoughts or had some ego-based feelings. And what I mean by that is having ego-based thoughts just sort of reminds me of making it about me as opposed to recognizing that, there's something greater happening, right? And so if I didn't necessarily have that self-awareness, I wouldn't have been able to recognize that these are ego-based thoughts and feelings, right? And as a result, I could have done more damage than good. But something else that comes to mind as it relates to going through the grieving process is the fact that, during this process, people are not themselves, right? And so more than ever, we have to be mindful of that. More than ever, we have to be compassionate and just recognize that grief is a distraction, right? There is this other thing happening within our heads that is sort of causing us to think differently, is sort of clouding our judgment, right? And now more than ever is the opportunity to try not to take things personally. And that was sort of the thing that I needed to process in terms of that ego-based thinking of not taking things personally, not taking the actions and thoughts of others personally, because they're processing things the way that they know how, just like I'm processing things the way that I know how. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized how, they say that death can typically bring out the worst in people. And I totally get it because, many of us are on different stages of the grieving process. And, if you're familiar with the grieving, the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. For many of us, we are on various levels of the grieving process. And so we can't expect others to respond the same way that we would because they're going through their own process, right? And, for many of us, this dance within the grieving process can, move back and forth very rapidly, right? We can also skip steps and, regress back to others. Like in my case, I feel like I skipped denial and went straight to anger and was screaming into a pillow and really angry. And, anger is probably my least favorite emotion to express. And despite that, I recognized that I had to do that. I had to go through that process to sort of move me forward in the grieving process, right? And the only thing that will really get us to that place of acceptance is time and hopefully the support of others. And so, again, now more than ever is the opportunity to have more compassion for others. And so I want to close out this message by sharing this affirmation card. So as I was sort of thinking about what I wanted to share this morning in this message, I was sort of stuck on how do I bring it all together? And miraculously, as I was shuffling my affirmation cards, this one card jumped out and I'm like, this is it. This is exactly what I need. And so I hope that this is helpful for you. So the card is, I am compassionate. I am compassionate. I understand how important it is to have compassion, and not just for others, but for myself as well. I forgive myself for the times I may have let myself down. I forgive others for the same. I realize that, like me, everyone is doing the best that they know with the tools that they have. I am compassionate. So that's today's message, okay? So I hope that you found this message to be helpful, and I hope that you have a great day, okay?